Hi, I'm Anne. Today I'm going to share with you how I'm putting together this insane scrappy quilt. It's the craziest thing I've ever made, and I feel like if you're going to go a little crazy, you got to go totally crazy because then people get it. Otherwise, it's just like, are you bad at this or what's your problem? So, anyway, this quilt is comprised of three main components, and I'm going to give you a demo of this, the Terry Rowland block, and this, the strip chunk. And then I will give you a tutorial at the end of those for making this plus block. And I did create a pattern for it. It's free. It's linked in the description below. I wanted these pluses not to come out to the edge, which is really an easier way to make a plus block. And so, yeah, I just made my own pattern. So these blocks out here I want to mention are, I'm calling them Terry Rowland blocks. If you haven't heard of her, she is the first one that posted a tutorial of how to make these on YouTube. I linked her original video in the description below if you'd like to see it, but I will give you a quick demo. They're very easy to make. Okay, so on the screen is a diagram of what the remaining rows of this quilt are going to be. And so on the very outer edge, there's three rings of Terry Rowland. There's a ring of plus blocks. There's a ring of strip chunks. Another ring of plus blocks. A ring of Terry Rowland blocks. Another ring of plus blocks. And on the very center, I'm putting a strip chunk. The very center of this is only 1 wide and 3 high, so it'll be small. Right in the center here. So yeah, this quilt doesn't have a name, and I've got a couple ideas, but I feel like they're not right. Scraptastic, Scrapalicious, Scrap Eater, Scrap Demolisher, and Kitchen Sink are my ideas, but I don't really, we can do better. So if you could please give me ideas in the comments below, that would be great. I'm going to leave it unnamed for now, and once I pick one of your suggestions, I'll change the thumbnail and the video title to reflect that. So, all right, well, let's get started. So let's talk about the Terry Rowland blocks first. This is what I keep my leaders and enders in, and I just cut up a bunch of whatever the block is I'm doing and pile them up in the order they get sewn in to make it easy. And a Terry Rowland block has 5 pieces, a center piece, bottom and top of that middle column, and then the 2 outside pieces. And since I'm doing 3.5-inch blocks, I want to make sure that this plus this width equals my trim size plus 1 inch for the seam allowance. So you're going to have a 1/4 inch seam allowance here, 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 and here. That equals 1 inch. So if we measure what I've got here, I've got 1 3/4, and 1 is 2 3/4, and 2 is 4 3/4, minus 1 is 3 3/4, which is the perfect size I shoot for. I like to have at least a 1/4 inch over the trim size for a margin of error. And then this bottom one's 2.5, 2.5, that's 5, 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 minus 1 is 5 1/4, more than enough. So we start with the center piece. You just put it face down on either the top or bottom piece and run it through. And the seam allowance really doesn't matter on these, as long as in the end you have the right size finished block. And you can press these any way you want, any direction. They do not have seams that meet up ever. So then we'll put the other part of the center on. And then the outer pieces. So at this point, we're sewing 3 columns. So, and I do like to kind of line up the left and right sides so that they're kind of centered next to each other. So by that, I mean, when I add this piece, I'll put it along the side, and I'll just kind of make sure it more or less lines up top and bottom with the other one. Close is good on that. You just, again, the goal is to make sure that your block size is at least as big as what you want. All right. And then the next block, let me grab one from under here. When you put these together, you'll orient them so that the seams on one block run into the not seam side on the next one. And then you never have to worry about seams running into each other. And that's why it doesn't matter which way you press. So that's it for the Terry Rowland block. And so let's talk about the strips. So I use that Amazon packing paper, the thinner stuff, and I just cut it to 3.5 inches wide, as long as I need. And when I first started doing this, I started sewing the strips on the end. That's just what made sense to me. And you start putting the first one right side up, and the next one put right sides together with it, and line up the edge that points toward the direction you're going, and then stitch the seam. Then fold it open, give it a press, and put the next piece right sides together and continue on. However, I was watching Let's Get It Done Quilts, and she gave such a great recommendation for how to do this and save a ton of time on the pressing. And that is, you start in the middle and work your way out to both sides. So again, my first piece is always right side up. The next piece, I'm going to line it up to one edge, right sides together. And I just try to eyeball that this is at a 90-degree angle. Every once in a while, I'll get a ruler if I think I'm really getting off kilter, and usually I am. And so a ruler will kind of help you get back on track. You can kind of see, if you line up the ruler with the outside edge, you can kind of see how you're doing along your pieces. So fire up my iron. And so now I've got one piece sewn on. I'm going to then sew the second piece on to the opposite side. You can kind of fold your first piece out of the way if it's getting in your way of sewing this second seam. So all right, so now I've got a piece to either side of my starting piece. Now I'll take it to the iron. Okay, so now I only have to press every other one. And so now I'll add my next one to one of the outside pieces. And then I'll add a piece to the opposite side. Then fold these two out toward the outside, press them, and then you just keep going until your piece of paper is full. That takes care of the strip chunks. Now let's talk about the plus block. So this is the pattern. It's linked in the description below. For this block, you want the contrast to work on these so you can tell it's a plus. And so I cut 4 1 3/4 inch squares for the 4 outside corners and 4 1-inch squares, and that's all my darks. And for the light, I cut 1 inch by 2.5 inch and 2 1-inch by 1 1/4 inch. And the goal here, in whatever order you feel like, is to get your rows sewn together and then you join those rows. So I'm just going to start at the top and I'm going to chain piece these a little bit as much as I can. And I like to do this with a scant 1/4 inch. That way I can trim it down to size when it's all done. This is a tiny, well, smallish block, but these are really small pieces and I'm usually off a bit here and there in these blocks, so I like to give myself that margin of error. So scant 1/4 inch. All right, that's as far as I can get. And when I'm making these, I will cut, 10 of them, and I'll just pile them up in order here and chain piece them. Word of warning, the part that gets me confused, this little plus part, you need to make sure that it's on the correct side of your square. So I don't want 2 of these because that's not going to work. I'm going to have to rip one out. So you need one with the dark part at the top and one with the dark part at the bottom. Okay. And then the other thing that I messed up on while chain piecing these is getting the low volume mixed up, which wasn't a big deal, and I didn't even unpick them to fix it because it's low volume. You really aren't going to notice. So, but if you care. Okay, now I've got my center row done. See where we're at. Now, finish these rows up. And the pattern does have suggested pressing instructions. I'm just pressing this one to the dark. The pressing instructions aren't a deal breaker if you don't get them right, but they do help reduce the bulk. These don't have to really line up with the block next to them in terms of there's no points to match up. It's just a solid color. So the pressing isn't crucial, but I do like to reduce bulk. So I try to press opposite directions from one block to the next. All right. And because I'm sewing scant, sometimes one piece will be a little bit bigger than the next, and I just try to equally distribute the extra size off each side. That way I know my plus will be centered-ish. And ish is good enough. This is a very forgiving block. As long as you can trim it to the size you want, that's all that really matters. Little Mary Ellen's Best Press might help these lay a little flatter. I have it put away for right now. So then I'm just going to take it over here and give it a trim. So you can see this isn't perfect, and it just doesn't matter. I'm going to be starting socialites next month, and I have turned into such a sloppy quilter. Kind of scared. It'll be fun. So that scant 1/4 inch is what gives you the ability to trim off a tiny bit and get a perfectly sized block. Cute. Awesome. So I need to finish up this ring of pluses, and then I need to do 2 strip chunks to finish up the rows inside of that. And then I think there's another row of pluses and a row of these. I'll put up on the screen the diagram. And then another row of pluses. So there's a lot of pluses. So I'm going to be chain piecing those quite a bit here in the near future. Don't forget to comment below, tell me what you think this should be called. And putting this on the fast track, I need this design wall for Socialites 3. And I will share with you the finish on this. I have another finish on the long arm I'll share with you at the same time. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.